Welcome to the 2018 Round 20 AFL Wrap Up. This week's Wrap Up is proudly sponsored by Home and Away. Yep, there's lots of dramas this week, people. So, Friday night kicked off with Tigers beating the Cats by 3 points, thanks to a Gary Ablett miss and him being way past his prime. The second game was Hawks versus Bombers. Hawks managed to pull off a 4-point win. Lots of close games early in the round. And the Sydney Swans cheated like dogs to take down the mighty Pies by 2 points. Eddie Maguire will make sure that sort of thing never happens again. And Daddy Franklin, get a looser jumper. You're way too fat to be wearing clothes that tight, mate. And the Adelaide Koala Bears beat Port Adelaide by 3 points. Even their own players admitting that they cheated. Hopefully in 50 years when Adelaide get colour TV, they'll also get enough cameras at the ground to catch this sort of stuff. And the Lions lost to the Roos by 3 points. Not doing too bad at all for a team one spot above Carlton on the ladder. Alright, that's it for the close games. Now we'll get to all the mismatches. Footscray flogged St Kilda by 35 points. St Kilda are going to have to clean house at the end of the season. And now we get to Sunday Fun Day. This is a home and away sponsored segment, so sit back and enjoy. Carlton failed to extend their current longest winning streak of the season past one game when they played GWS. Well, they didn't play all the GWS. GWS played with 16 players on the field for some of it. They outscored Carlton 7 goals to 2 with 2 less players on the field. Won the whole game by 105 points. Keep that in mind for a later segment. And the Demons flogged the Suns by 96 points. The Suns are in the news at the moment because they stripped their captain of his captaincy for wanting to leave the club. Apparently some of the players are quite angry he wants to leave. Let's listen to what a certain Carlton director had to say about that.
I think Gold Coast people are dirty on Tom Lynch. It's absolutely ridiculous. If anything, they should be apologising to Tom Lynch. They should say, look, we're sorry. We drafted you as a kid. The environment we created for you wasn't up to standard. We've cost you 8 years of your career where you had no chance of succeeding. We're sorry. Thanks for putting in. You go with our blessing. Yeah. That's the line they should have taken, not to pretend that they're some sort of the victim with everything he's contributed to that club so far. And it just sends a really bad message. It just shows that they really...
Now, as director of Carlton, do you think Chris Judd has apologised to Cripps? Cripps was drafted in 2014. Since then, they had 26 wins and 80 losses, so they're not having any success. They just got flogged by 105 points by a team that didn't even bother fielding a full side on the field. And he's trying to bag out other clubs for not being successful. Next, we have the brutal Western Derby. The Eagles won comfortably, but not without hurting their finals run. They announced Tuesday night that Gaff will not be able to play for the rest of the season. He's the victim of a brutal headbutt to his hand. This was the most brutal headbutt as anyone's seen since Tony Lockett copped one to his elbow by Peter Craven. Gaff is understandably upset by all this. Let's listen to what he had to say.
The last 48 hours has probably been the toughest couple of days of my life. And
poor guy.
People that I've spoken to and people that have seen me throughout that time know the lot of pain I'm in and how much I'm suffering.
Yes, poor Gaff. He's in a lot of pain, a lot of suffering. I think we should all just remember the difficult time he's going through right now. He's the real victim here, despite what the Freo supporters will tell you. Anyway, we'll see you next week for the next wrap-up.